Hi, Rob.
Okay, how's it?
Hi, Rob.
When I heard about
Everybody
you,
all right?
yeah, I heard you're gonna say goodbye to us for a bit.
Yeah, next week. But I'll catch you from there, same as Dr. Les.
Baruch
I won't be
Hashem.
saying goodbye.
You mean it's a short distance goodbye?
Yeah, it's amazing technology.
Yeah.
I'm going to be there, but I hopefully will be here as well.
No, please God, you'll be with us. You mean your body gonna be there, your heart gonna be with us? That's what you're saying.
That's it.
Okay, that's
Can't miss
nice.
my share. Can't miss my shares.
Good. I'm just admitting everyone. I see that Orna with us. Hello, Orna. Who's with us? Louis with us. I see Shmuli joining.
Hello, Rob.
How's it, Louis?
Hello, Louis.
Hi, Rabbi.
Hello.
Hello, Rabbi.
How are you?
Hi, Rabbi. How are you, everybody?
How are you feeling?
Baruch Hashem, thanking you, Rabbi.
Good. Thank you. It's so nice to see you all. We'll wait another few minutes. We'll give another chance for everyone just to join us for the show. Another few minutes, and then we'll start the show, Be'ezrat Hashem. Is everyone else well? Mark, are you okay? You're getting ready to Israel.
Yep. Amen.
I don't know if you read the Jewish report that came today.
No, I haven't read it.
You better read it in the front page, right in the front page.
What does it say, Rolf? Quick.
It's regarding what Israel doing for people to go to Israel. That actually they don't make the life so easy.
Yeah, but I'm a citizen.
For you it's different. Different because you made Aliyah, but I'm saying in general, sure.
No, they don't want any visitors, especially from here. Yeah,
I don't know why. Why?
Because we're a red country. We've got too much problems here.
So, and the people that go to Turkey is a red country?
Yeah, they don't, same thing.
They worry about
difficulty.
COVID-19, yeah, about our COVID. That's where the problem comes in.
I don't know. Anyway.
We're too high.
That we should start the show because those that didn't join us on time, they will catch up because we're running late. So Be'ezrat Hashem, na'aseh v'natzliach, v'Hashem aleinu berachamav yarviach. I would like to dedicate the show tonight for the Ilui Nishmat Yair Yoshua ben Tzvi Aaron. Yair Yoshua is the son of Orna and Harry, our friend Orna and Harry. That's this week was the Yortzeit. So please God, the Divrei Torah that we're going to say, the words of Torah that we're going to mention tonight, are going to be to uplift his neshama because this week is his Yortzeit. And Be'ezrat Hashem, that should be a lot of comfort, Orna, to you, to Harry,
Amen.
to Karen.
Amen.
Please, will be Aliyat Neshama. And you have to understand, Yair is in the best place that he can be. There's no better place than that. That's one thing I assure you. The mystical rabbis say that before a person born, they don't ask the neshama. They don't give him a choice. He comes to the world. But the neshama doesn't want to come down. The neshama doesn't want to come down to earth. Why? Because the neshama feel very comfortable there. So Be'ezrat Hashem, that I wish you, I wish Harry, and I wish Karen a lot of strength. I know it's difficult, and time passed like it was yesterday. I remember sitting on your garden and crying, and I'm almost crying now, but I'm going to hold myself as much as I can. But please God, it will be Aliyat Neshama of Yair.
Amen. Toda, Rabbi.
Give you a lot of strength. Also, I would like to dedicate the show לעילוי נשמת אסתר קדן בת קציה, מרדכי בן רחמה, הרב אברהם חיים בן אליעזר יעקב, תמר בת זהבה, רחל מלכה בת סולטנה, יעקב סלומון בן פרחה, לעילוי נשמת דניאלה ביילה בת יעקב ראובן, please God that it should be aliyat neshama to them and to Dvorah Ruth bat Bela, please God. And we would like to dedicate the show also to the health of Liora bat Miriam, Menashe Naji ben Farha, Orna Bluma bat Miriam, where we are Rav Avraham ben Marina, Rav Shlomo Yehuda ben Dalia, Rav Moshe ben Devorah, Mordechai, David ben Leah, Moshe ben Yehudit, Yosef ben Esther, Hannah, Sarah bat Devorah, Dvorah bat Esther, Shlomo Pinchas ben Sheina Fisha, Hona Tuvia ben Haim Shaul Zelig, ושושנה בת דבורה. Please God, רפואה שלמה to all of them, וכל חולי עמו בית ישראל בכל מקום שהם. Please God, we're going to start the shiur now. I'm going to mute everyone. I think I mute everyone. Louis, when it's come to your turn, you're going to unmute. So we're starting, Rabotai, today Parashat Re'eh, but today we're going to do something different. We're going to do the Parashat HaShavua, and plus, like I promised Orna and I promised all of you, that we're going to do a little bit of the Haftarah. I'm just going to start today with the first verse of the Haftarah to explain what is it talking about. And we'll see how's it going and how you're feeling with that. And then we'll continue, we'll see. So, Be'ezrat Hashem, na'aseh v'natzliach v'Hashem alenu berachamav yarviach. We're going to do a review to the Parashat Re'eh. At the beginning of the Parsha, the Torah speak and tell us that HaKadosh Baruch Hu actually given the option to a person, to the individual, to imply on himself prosperity, brocha, all the blessing by that he fulfilled the mitzvot and following the footsteps of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, keeping the Torah. But from the other way, the Torah tells us that lo alenu, if a person doesn't follow the mitzvot, doesn't go after the law that HaKadosh Baruch Hu give us, doesn't keep the Torah, lo alenu, these cases also can come. After that, there is the command for the blessing on Har Gerizim and the curse on Har Eval. After that, Moshe Rabbeinu command Bnei Israel to destroy all the idols that there is in the land of Eretz Israel, just when they're entering the Eretz Israel. The first thing that they have to do, one of the deal that they have to deal is to destroy idols. Also, it's been told to Bnei Israel that from now on, they cannot sacrifice, not can bring a sacrifice, a korban, and do a korban wherever they want. There's only one place that HaKadosh Baruch Hu, wherever HaKadosh Baruch Hu will choose, and that's going to be on Mishkan. Where is going to be the Mishkan? And the Mishkan was first Mishkan Shiloh. Mishkan Shiloh was in Nablus, in the city of Nablus, until the Beit HaMikdash been built in the time of Shlomo HaMelech. Only then they can do it. But in the meantime, HaKadosh Baruch Hu will tell them where to bring the sacrifice. So they can't do anymore to build the altar and to sacrifice like they used to do before. And then the Torah tells us about the negative command of eating blood, drinking blood. You know, achilat dam we call it in Hebrew, but it's actually drinking blood. But the Torah call it eating. Why? Because there is a soul inside the blood, ki adam hu nefesh, and then eating a limb from a living animal. Also the law of achilat ma'asrot, the law of eating ma'asrot, basar hulin vekodashim, the law of holy meat that been designated to the kohanim, lo alenu, and eating basar hulin, and etc. After that, the Torah speak about the law that Ish Mesit. What it means, Ish Mesit? It's a person that entices other Jews to worship idol. What to do with them? What is the punishment for them? The Torah tells us that it's punishment of skila. Skila is stoning. Also, the law of a false prophet, that Navi Sheker that tell the false prophecy, and then Irani Dahat. I don't know how you say Irani Dahat, But Ir Anidahat is a complete city that worship idols. I didn't see how you say it in English. If anyone know how to say Ir Anidahat, I would like to hear about it. Mark, you know how to say Ir Anidahat in English? Bechavod? No? Okay.
Not city of refuge.
No.
It's not. It's called a wayward city.
Sorry?
A wayward city.
A wayward city. Okay.
Wayward.
Okay. So Ir Miklat, Shmuli, Ir Miklat is a city of refuge. It's not a wayward city. Okay. Then the Torah tells us the law of the kosher animals, what we can eat, what we can't eat, which animal we can eat. Not only the animal, also the birds that we can eat and we can't. Then the Torah speak about the law of tzedakah. What it means, the law of tzedakah, that we obligate to give a tzedakah to a poor person. Not only that, to lend money to a poor person, although that it's coming the end, towards the end or the beginning of Shnat HaShemitah, and then person don't want to give the loan because when Shnat HaShemitah come, also the money disappear. And that's what Hillel saw, and he wrote the prosbul. There is a prosbul that Hillel made. Towards the end of the Parsha, the Torah speak about all our beautiful festivals that we have, that it's Hag HaPesach, Hag HaShavuot, and Hag HaSukkot, that we obligate to go to Beit HaMikdash 3 times a year to visit and to bring our offering to HaKadosh Baruch Hu 3 times a year if we can. In Parashat Re'eh, we have 17 positive command. Listen to that, 17 positive command. And negative command, we have 37 negative command, quite a bit of mitzvot that there is in our parsha. So now we're going to start the parsha, and the parsha start like this. Re'eh, anochi noten lifnechem hayom, beracha uklala. Louis, unmute yourself.
Yeah, okay. See, I present before you today a blessing and a curse.
Okay, if you look, the parsha start with single, re'eh. Re'eh, it's singly. It doesn't say re'u. Re'u, it's in plural. But re'eh, it's for the individual. And then, re'eh anochi noten lifnechem. Lifnechem is in plural. We see that the parsha start with single words, that means speak to a single person, and immediately move to plural, speaking to the rest of the nation. And many of the Mefarshim saw that and asked, listen, what's happening here? Re'eh, you speaking to who? You speaking to the individual. Lifnechem, it's the entire Jewish people in plural. Why, the Mefarshim ask, why is the parsha then start with singulies, re'eh, and move to plural? That's the question of the Mefarshim. So we Be'ezrat Hashem, will bring few ideas today to understand that. We try to explain the idea behind it. So the Mefarshim say re'eh, that number one, I'm going to bring the Al-Sheikh HaKadosh, Rabbi Moshe Al-Sheikh. Rabbi Moshe Al-Sheikh born in the city of Andripoli. Andripoli is the north of Turkey. I explained in a previous show. It's on the border of Bulgaria and Greece. That's where the city of Andripoli in the north of Turkey, he born 514 years ago. And in his commentary on the Torah, he actually, to explain that, he brought actually a beautiful analogy to understand what Moshe Rabbeinu tried to tell Bnei Israel. We're also going to speak about the word hayom, today, what is today. But Be'ezrat Hashem, let's go one by one. Say Rabbi Moshe Al-Sheikh, to understand that, we have to understand the analogy behind it. And he bring a beautiful analogy. A person that have a factory or have a big business and he have workers. And he said that if the workers was not so fast working or let's call it not such a hard-working, or in a nice word, hardly work. You know what I'm saying? Hardly work. He said like this, that if one of them, never mind that, if one of them completely didn't work, he was very negligent. He said that the punishment, the punishment that the entire people will be, it's a collective punishment. It's not going to be individual punishment. Why? Because all of them neglected. Not that one of them neglected less or neglected more. You know what I'm saying? He said it's going to be a collective punishment for all of them. He said that here Moshe Rabbeinu come, the Al Sheikh HaKadosh said that Moshe Rabbeinu come, and a matter of fact tell Bnei Israel, listen, that although that if Chas v'Shalom you all gonna sin, or you all gonna leave the Torah, Chas v'Shalom lo yakum v'lo yeh, but if you all gonna sin, HaKadosh Baruch Hu not gonna punish you collectively. HaKadosh Baruch Hu will punish each one individually. What does it mean individually? According to his deeds and according to his behavior. Also, when it's come to mitzvot, that if a person will do mitzvot, okay, although that all the nation do mitzvot, each one going to be judged individually and going to get the reward individually according to his deeds, according to his behavior, according to his difficulty that he have to do the mitzvot. So it's come and say, that the blessing and the cursing lo alenu will come on a person, Has v'shalom lo yakum v'lo yeh, only blessing according to his deeds. Each one according to his individual input, according to his individual deeds that he have to work hard, how much individually it was hard for him. That means that the reward and the punishment to each one gonna be individually. That's Al Sheikh HaKadosh. I saw a beautiful commentary of Rabbi Haim Kapusi. Rabbi Haim Kapusi, born in Egypt. He born around 481 years ago. Sorry, 481 years ago. And also I saw it in his book, Be'or Haim, in the Light of Life. Also, I saw it in another book, Torat Moshe. Torat Moshe, there is two books of Torat Moshe that it's commentary on the Torah. The one is the Al Sheikh HaKadosh, and the other one is Rabbi Moshe Sofer. Rabbi Moshe Sofer, sorry, it's the Hatam Sofer. The Hatam Sofer, born in the city of Frankfurt, he born around 258 years ago. So Rabbi Haim Kapusi and the Hatam Sofer, Rabbi Moshe Sofer, brought in the commentary on that verse a beautiful commentary. And they bring in what Hazal tell us in the Gemara and Masechet Kedushim. Hazal in the Gemara and Masechet Kedushim tell us in page 40, folio 2, like this. I'm going to read it in Hebrew and then I will translate it to English. Le'olam, forever, יראה אדם עצמו ואת כל העולם כולו כאילו חציו חייו עשה מצווה אחת אשריו שהכריע את העולם כולו לכף זכות. What does it mean? A person always must look, okay, the world. What it mean the world? That the judgment on the world is 50-50. If he'll do one mitzvah, he can turn the judgment in favor. But Chas v'Shalom, if he do avirot, so that's mean, I don't want to say what's going to happen, but it's the Hazal tell us that the person all of his life, before he do any action, before he do any deeds, and it's so difficult, because sometimes we're doing things without thinking, we're human beings. But Hazal come and warn us that the person should work on himself, and before he done anything, before he say anything, before he do any action, he must remember that the world is 50-50. He can judge favorably because his deeds, because the way that he acts, the way that the action that he take, the world can be judged favorably. But Has v'Shalom, if lo yakum v'lo yeh, please God, a person done avera, he can judge the world. I don't want to say. So say both of them come to tell us that it's re'eh. What it means re'eh? You, the individual, You, the individual, look, before you done anything, think twice before you do any avera. If you do mitzvah, you can change the judgment in favor. But has v'shalom, if you do avera, you can be judged negatively. So it's come and tell you, Re'eh anochi noten lifnechem. Re'eh, before you do anything, look, the world is 50-50. It all depends on your action. Lifnechem, you can judge the act, the way that you conduct your mitzvot can change the world in favor. Or has v'shalom lehefer. So it's come to tell us that the action of a person that is individually can affect the entire, everyone, the entire world. That means that Re'eh, you the individual, by your action, you can change the judgment on the entire world. Why? Because the world is 50-50. And if you done mitzvot, the world going to be charged and going to be judged in favorably. And that's the idea here. That say Rabbi Chaim Kapusi and also the Hatam Sofer, Rabbi Moshe Sofer. Then it says in a verse, Hayom Beracha. What does it mean, Hayom Beracha? I don't understand. Re'eh anochi noten lifnechem, Hayom. What does it mean, Hayom Bracha Uklala? What's the idea, Hayom? So I saw a few ideas. We have to understand, why did Moshe Rabbeinu first of all say Hayom? Bnei Israel received the Torah 40 years ago, when Moshe speak to them. When is Moshe speak to them? Moshe speak to the children of Israel just before the entering to Eretz Israel. That means that the children of Israel received the Torah 40 years before. So why did he say today, Re'eh anochi noten lifnechem, that he given you today the blessing and the cursing? Bnei Israel received the Torah already 40 years ago when they, straight after Egypt, 50 days after they left Egypt, and Vav Sivan, we know that they received the Torah. 40 years later, Moshe come and tell them, Hayom, why today? So I saw a beautiful commentary that brought by Rabbi Mordechai Cohen. Rabbi Mordechai Cohen lived in Tzfat in the 16th century. He called one of his books on the Torah, Siftei Kohen. He was the student of Maran Bet Yosef, Rabbi Yosef Karo, while he was in Tzfat. And he said like this, you know why Moshe said to the children of Israel that they're ready to enter Eretz Israel 40 years after they received the Torah? Re'eh anochi noten lifnechem. Look, today I'm going to give you the blessing and the cursing. That means that he telling them, again, all the mitzvot, that's the reward, that's the blessing. And has v'shalom, all the curses if they're not going to keep the Torah. He said that something extraordinary. Listen what he said. He said that Moshe Rabbeinu and HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that when Moshe Rabbeinu told him, he knew that the HaKadosh Baruch Hu know that will come lo alenu a generation that's going to try to change the Torah a bit. Like we call the Reform, that actually the most destructive people that there is for the Jewish religion. If you want to know who's the most dangerous, look at the prophet. The prophet said last week, I'm sure that you read it, Mahrivaich umeharsaich mimech yitzu. The prophet Yeshayahu. That means that you know who's going to destroy you? Those peoples amongst you. The Erev Rav. So he said that will come a generation that's going to say, listen, things change, condition change, everything changed. They want to change the mitzvot. It's not so necessary. What is it to light on Shabbos, the electricity, to switch on the light? In olden days, they need to create a light, to take 2 stones, all different tzadkes that doesn't even fit because the Torah doesn't speak about it. Because to switch on a light, it's not the melacha. What is the problem here? That you're creating something. There is no melacha here. It's creating. It was dark and now you're creating. That's the melacha. And it's not the melacha to switch on a switch. If you look at Ilchot Shabbat in depth to understand that, I'm just giving an example for us to understand. But the idea behind it, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu knew that will come a generation that will say, listen, in olden days, they didn't have the electricity that we have, and etc., and etc. Things change, time change, we also have to be advanced, and etc. All different kind of words, fancy words, to try to tell us that we have to move in time. Say HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Re'eh anochi noten lifnechem hayom. Hayom. What it mean hayom? Today. Moshe Rabbeinu said to them today. But it wasn't only to Bnei Israel then. It's to Bnei Israel today. That means we have to look at the Torah like we received it today on Mount Sinai. The Torah will never change, Hazal tell us. The Torah will never change. Not then, not now, and not in the future. HaKadosh Baruch Hu given us a Torah, and the Torah is forever. The Torah is not something that we can change. It's not changeable. And that's the message here, Hayom, to tell you that you mustn't think that maybe because time change, generation change, story, there's no such thing. The Torah is forever. The Torah is not changeable. I saw another beautiful commentary that brought by Rabbi David Cohen. Rabbi David Cohen, born in city of Jerba. I don't know when, I tried to find, I couldn't find. In his book, Ahavat David, The Love of David, okay? He said that not for nothing, Moshe Rabbeinu wrote Hayom. What it means, Hayom? It come to tell you something extraordinary. The word Hayom come to tell to a person that every day a person can change his situation, okay, or his status, from a person that was Hote is a sinner, or Sanui, or Baal Kelala, to he can change himself to bracha. How do you do that? He said by that the person change his way of life, that he can change himself from cursing to blessing. That means a person that brought up in a family that didn't eat kosher, didn't keep Shabbos, and etc. And the moment that he take on himself to eat kosher, to keep Shabbos, and etc., immediately HaKadosh Baruch Hu take him on that day from what we call curse to a blessing. That's what it's Hayom. Rabbi David Cohen come to tell us that here you learn encouragement, that a person can change his lack and his status every day. Depends on his deeds. I saw another beautiful of the Sforno. The Sforno is Rabbi Ovadia Misforno. He born in the north of Italy in a city that's called Cesena. He born 551 years ago. The Sforno was a great rabbi. He was a scholar person, one of the biggest scholar person that the Jewish nation knew. And he wrote commentary, obviously, on the Torah that been accepted by everyone. But in his profession, he was also a doctor. And he explained to us that why that the Torah tell us, Re'eh anochi noten lifnechem hayom bracha uklala. What it means, bracha uklala? He said that in a Jewish nation, you have to understand to a Jewish person and to the Jewish nation, not only individually, also to the entire Jewish, that means everyone, that means the individual and the majority, that means every Jewish, okay? There is no middle way. What it means, no middle way? Very interesting. He said you have to understand that when it's come to mitzvot, there is no middle way. Or you do mitzvot, or you don't do mitzvot. If you do mitzvot, that means that you're going up. That means that you're living in the light forever. But has v'shalom, if a person do averot, there is no middle way. It's or mitzvot or averot. If you do averot, has v'shalom, the person basically going down and down and living in the darkness forever. He said that here the Torah tell us bracha, bracha is a light. You want to live in the light all your life? only bracha. What is it? Mitzvot. Do mitzvot. Any mitzvah that you do is light. But has v'shalom, if a person done averot, the averot unfortunately drag him down and down and down until he live in the darkness all of his life. And there is no other way. The only way that you want to see the light and to go up, it's a mitzvah in our life. So there is no middle way. And that's what it says hayom. Hayom bracha huklala. You have two choices. You want to live the life of light, or you want to live the light of darkness. The life of light is brocha. What is brocha? Mitzvot. Do mitzvot. Learn Torah. Keep the word of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. It's only light for you. But has v'shalom, if you do the opposite, I don't want to say. Let's move on to verse 27. We're going to read two verses now, verse 27 and verse 28. And then we see something very interesting and very different in the Psukim, and we'll try to explain. In verse 27, the Torah tells us like this: Et habracha asher tishme'u el mitzvot Adonai Elohechem asher anochi metzaveh etchem hayom והקללה אם לא תשמעו אל מצוות אדוני אלוהיכם וסרתם מן הדרך אשר אנוכי מצווה אתכם היום ללכת אחרי אלוהים אחרים אשר לא ידעתם.
The blessing that you hearken to the commandments of Hashem and your God, and I command you today. And the curse, if you do not hearken to the commandments of Hashem, your God, and you'll stay from the path that I commanded you today, to follow gods of others that you did not know.
Okay, if you look carefully, the Mefarshim say, when HaKadosh Baruch Hu, or when Moshe Rabbeinu that wrote the Torah, and he said what HaKadosh Baruch Hu told him, it said when he's speaking of the brocha, asher tishme'u, the brocha that you will listen. You want to get brocha, you must listen. When it's come to the curse, he said, ve'aklala im lo tishme'u. The curse come only if you're not going to listen. That means that you have to do an action. And the Mefarshim say, well, what's happening here? You're telling me that there is brocha that can come to a person even if he doesn't done action? Yes. But klala, a curse, a person get it only if he done the action. If he didn't done action, he doesn't get curse. What's happening here? So to understand that, we have to go to the Gemara in Masechet Kiddushin, page 39, folio 2. I'm going to read the Gemara and I will translate it. And Hazal tell us there like this: Mahshava tova, a good thought. Akadosh Baruch Hu metzarfa lemaaseh. When it's come to a good thought, a person have a good thought. Akadosh Baruch Hu kiviyachol, although that you thought only to do good thing, Akadosh Baruch Hu will consider it like you done it. But from the other way, Mahshava, a person that have a bad thought, and Akadosh Baruch Hu HaKadosh Baruch Hu doesn't actually look at it as an action. And now we're going to explain. We need to understand what's happening here. I saw a beautiful commentary of Baal HaHafla'ah. Baal HaHafla'ah, I'm sure that all of you know, is Rabbi Pinchas Levy Ish Horovitz. He born in a city of Tzortkov in Galicia. He born around 290 years ago. And he wrote a beautiful book that's called Panim Yafot, Beautiful Face. And that book exactly like his name. And he says that to understand what Moshe Rabbeinu tell the Jewish people, that people can actually get blessing without even doing action. But curses only if they do a negative command. If they do what they've been told not to do. So he's saying that how's it work? Hazal already telling us in the Gemara and Masechet Kiddushin that we read in page 39, folio 2, something extraordinary. Listen to that. A person have in mind, and he's saying to himself, you know, if I win the lotto and I'll win $1 million rand, I'm going to give 10% of it, of that money that I'll win, to tzedakah. And then, for some reason, he bought the lotto and he didn't win, cannot give the tzedakah. HaKadosh Baruch Hu consider it as a mitzvah, like he given 10%. Rabotai, I repeat, HaKadosh Baruch Hu consider like he given 10%, but he didn't give. Yeah, that's what it say here. Hazal tell us, mahshava tova, HaKadosh Baruch Hu mitzarfa lemaaseh. That means a person having his mind to do good deeds, and for some reason he couldn't, or it didn't happen, although that he have in mind, it's considered like he done the good deeds. But from the other way, a person that done avera, have a thought to do avera, I refrain. A person was thinking to steal, to eat non-kosher, I don't know what, any idea that you have in mind. But for some reason he didn't done the avera, and though that he have in thought to do robbery, to eat non-kosher, I don't know what he have in mind, he doesn't consider as avera. Why? Because as long that he didn't done the avera, he doesn't consider as avera. We'll speak how come, why, just now. I'll get to it just now. But it says something extraordinary. It said that the Torah tells us that if a person have good thought in mind, okay, he like done it. Therefore, the Torah tells us something extraordinary. When a person do avera, only then it will consider as avera. But if he have a thought, he doesn't consider as avera. Except one thing, and that's we have to understand. There is one mahshava, one thought. Although that you didn't done it, it's considered as avera. That's avodah zarah. If a person have Has v'shalom, lo yakum v'lo yeh. Mahshavat avodah zarah, that means a thought of idol worshipping, it's considered as avera. Only that. But if you have a thought to eat, I don't know, lo alenu, lo ala echad miYisrael, seafood, to rob a bank, I don't know, you name it, all the avarot that there is in the Torah, if you didn't done it, like nothing happened. But if he thought to do a mitzvah, any kind of mitzvah, and he didn't done it, HaKadosh Baruch Hu consider it as like he done it. And there is a question that brought for us to understand that. How come, and that question came by Rabbi Aaron Brachia de Modena. Okay, Rabbi Aaron Brachia de Modena, born in the city of Modena. Modena is a city in Italy. He born in the 16th century. He was a student, by the way, last night was his yortzeit, and he was a student of Ramah Mipano. The Ramah Mipano, Rabbi Menachem Azariah Mipano, who was his rabbi. His rabbi was one of the greatest Kabbalistic that was living in the 16th century, one of the great Kabbalistic. And in the 16th century, remember also the Ari HaKadosh, but this one was in Italy, the Ramah Mipano, Rabbi Menachem Azariah Mipano, while the Ari HaKadosh lived in Shfat, in Eretz Israel. What very interesting, they both wrote the book Sefer HaGilgulim, the book of reincarnation. They explain that people that do certain averot, when he come back to this world, how does he come back? So there they explain that, for example, actually I'm not going to say anything because you're not going to sleep at night. They explain when people do certain averot, what is the Gilgul? What is they going to come as a reincarnation to this world? Anyway, so Rabbi Aaron Brachia de Modena, in his book Ma'avar Yabok is a very deep book. He asked this question. I don't understand. When it's come to Mahshava Tova, good thought, HaKadosh Baruch Hu consider it like you done it. I know that you didn't done it. But when it's come to Averot and you didn't done the Avera, HaKadosh Baruch Hu doesn't consider it as Avera. Why? Why here you consider it as a mitzvah and you get reward? But when you have a bad thought, except Mahshavat Avodah Zarah, except if you think about idol worshipping, it doesn't consider as Avera. That's the question of Rabbi Aaron Brachia de Modena in his book Ma'avar Yabok. And he explains something very deeply. And from here you see that the book of Ma'avar Yabok is a heavy book that is deep book that you can see that they touch mystical. That's mean Kabbalah. And in his book, he say, I'm bringing it really surfacely because that's what I can understand. I couldn't understand more than that. That's what I also read in the book. I couldn't understand that. He said like this, and he said that in a world, in a heaven, there is a world the same like we have here. Olam HaMachshava, the world of thought. We have a world of thought here. There's a world of thought in a heaven. But the world of thought, it's come only in a different way. What does it mean? There is mahshava that you do here on earth, and that's mahshavot tovot, good thought. That means good thought, there is also a place in heaven. But lehavdil, a bad thought, not a decent thought, there is no world in heaven. That means when a person thinking here about good thought, up in heaven, that world get built. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. I'm trying to make it very simple, very easy to understand. I know that it's there. That means Olam HaMachshava Tova, the world of good thought, it exists here on earth and exists up in heaven. When a person have a good thought to help people, to do mitzvot, whatever he think here, up in heaven, it's get built. Lehavdil, Olam HaMachshava Ra'a, the world of bad thought, is from the Sitra Ahra. What it means, Sitra Ahra? Hatzad Sheni. That's the explanation. What it means, Hatzad Sheni, the other side. That's how the Kabbalistic term call it. Sitra Ahra. It's also in Aramaic Sitra Ahra. The other side. What it means, the other side? Referring to the evil forces, the negative forces, what we call it, the negative energy. He said that the negative energy thought, there is no place in heaven. Why? Because the place in heaven is so pure that there is no place for the evil inclination to go there. That means that there is no place for evil force in heaven. So he said, even if a person have a bad thought on this earth, there's nothing happening. He doesn't spoil nothing up in the heaven. You can only build in heaven. How do you build in heaven? By having here on earth good thought. But has v'shalom, when a person have a bad thought, because there is no a world of negative thought in heaven, so he cannot spoil nothing. He cannot cause any damage. Therefore, he can't get punished. But from the other way, say Rabbi Aaron Berechia de Modena, that when a person think positively here and think to do good, to help people, to do mitzvot, to do hasadim and ma'asim tovim, up in heaven, he actually building that world that called Olam HaMachshava Tova, the world of good thought, and you have to get reward for it. So therefore, say Rabbi Aaron de Modena, that from here you learn something extraordinary. That when a person think to do good, although that he couldn't do it, for whatever reason, that thought get reward. Why? Because he's building the world up in heaven. And a person that have a bad thought, because he can't spoil nothing in heaven, he can't get punished. You just have a bad thought here, finished. It needs stop. It's limited. And that's what Hazal tell us in the Gemara, in Masechet Kedushim, Lametet Amud Bet. Mahshava tova, Kadosh Baruch Hu tzarfa lema'aseh. You have a good idea, you have a good thought to do, HaKadosh Baruch Hu will take that like you done it, that action. And that's the fundamental idea behind what it tells us here. Et habracha asher tishma'u, the blessing that I'm telling you, you will listen. Why you will listen? Because if you have a good thought. Vehaklala im lo tishma'u. You know when the curse is going to come on Chas v'Shalom on a person? If he actually done action. And that's the difference between the two verses. I hope that I explained myself. Let's move on now to verse 30. Hang on, let me just see. No, I'm going to skip a bit to chapter 12, verse 30. Let's go to verse 12, verse 30. All right, yes. verse 30, 12. Okay, chapter 12, verse 30. Okay, I'm almost there. Where's it? Yeah, here's it. Okay. הישמר לך, פן תנקש אחריהם, אחרי הישמדם מפניך, ופן תדרוש לאלוהיהם, לאמור, איך יעבדו הגויים האלה את אלוהיהם, ועשה כן גם אני.
Beware for yourself, lest you be attached to after them, after they have been destroyed before you, and lest you seek out their gods, saying, how did this nation worship their gods? And even I will do the same.
Okay, basically, if we look at that verse, we'll see something very interesting. The Torah actually commands us not to search, not to read, not to ask, not to know how the Gentile that worship idols, what's hiding behind it. The Torah tells us that you should not look how those people that worship idols, how those people that think about idol, what is the fundamental idea behind it? That's the basic thing. And we have to understand what's happening here. So I saw a beautiful commentary of the Great Eagle. The Great Eagle is the Rambam. The Rambam is Rabbi Moshe ben Maimon. He born in the city of Cordova in Spain 886 years ago. In Ilchot Avodat Kochavim. That means in the law of idol, worship idols. In chapter 2, Halacha 2. Listen what he said. Ki hagoyim ovdei avodah zara, those Gentiles that worship idols, Hibru arbe sfarim. They wrote a lot of books al avodah zara, on the idol worshiping. And listen what he said. Ve'ech le'ovda, huma ikara, how to worship it, and what's hiding behind it. Listen what he said. And the Rambam continue and say, the Rambam, ve'omer HaRambam, ki HaKadosh Baruch Hu tzivanu. The Rambam said that the Almighty commanded us not to read in those books, not to have any thought about it, not to speak about it, listen to that, and not even to look at the statue. Why? Af al pi, although so, that although that the person doesn't worship idol, but he just read or he just search about it, okay? Okay, or you want to understand, אסור לאדם לשאול, לחקור ולדעת בספרי עבודה זרה. And he continue, why? כי זה יגרום לאדם ללכת בדרך העבודה זרה. You know why you're not allowed to read those books? Why not allowed to search about it, to understand what's happening behind that? Because that will cause you eventually to follow worshiping idols. That means that people that read or search or learn in idols, books of Avodah Zarah, it's very dangerous to a person. Why? Because Has v'Shalom, from that reading, the Avodah Zarah, the power of Avodah Zarah, that's evilness, Has v'Shalom, it will drag him after him. That means a person can drag to Avodah Zarah. And what it means not looking at the statue, many people immediately think the cross. No, there is other Avodah Zarah. You know, in the Far East, there is so many Avodah Zarah. You all know the constipated one. You know, there's many people that have, that people sell them Avodah Zarah, the frog. Don't know how many of you know. They say that it's a blessing for money. That's Avodah Zarah. Avodah Zarah lehatchila. You know, I've gone to a friend of mine, and in his office, I see a frog with kind of coin inside. I say, Maze, what is that? You know, like I pretend myself stupid. He was so naive. He was so naive. He said, because he buy a lot from the Chinese, he deal a lot for them. I don't know what he's doing. He said to me that one of the Chinamen told them, listen to that, and look how the Ramban is right. He said, this is a remedy for Parnasa. The person had remedy to Parnasa, bring. What does he give him? A frog with few, in his mouth, there's 3 kind of coins. Or coin, I don't remember. You must destroy it. We have a mitzvah from the Torah. Like we mentioned at the beginning of the show, that one of the mitzvot that there is in this parsha, to destroy any avodah zarah. And there's many people that they don't do it on purposely, that they naively, they don't know. And that's what it means, avodah zarah. That means this avodah zarah eventually will drag you to believe on it. And here, this is a great example. You cannot take it. So I said to him, take that avodah zarah, take a hammer and smash it, and say to do tikkun to what you've done. Take that avodah zarah, destroy it, and before you come, you must say, "Hineni ba, here I'm coming." Okay? לשבר ולנתק כל מצבותם וכל פסליהם. That means every statue, everything that they have that belong to avodah zarah come to destroy. Why? Because in the Far East, they don't only believe on the constipated one. They believe on the dragon. They believe, I don't know, they have the night of the dragon, the day of the, all their lives is dragon, just tzarot. May HaKadosh Baruch Hu bless them to have tzarot, to leave us in peace. What does it mean? That we have to be careful from idols. And people don't realize that this kind of avodah zarah, even if you're doing it naively, it's like you're worshiping. You bring it to your house, chas v'shalom, destroy it immediately. And that's what the Rambam say, that the Torah come and tell us how much a person have to be careful from avodah zarah, not to follow it. Let's move on to chapter now 14. I'm skipping quite a bit to chapter 14, verse 1, because I want to have some time also for the Haftarah. Let's go to chapter 14, verse 1. In chapter 14, verse 1, the Torah tells us something extraordinary. And look what it says. בנים אתם לאדוני אלוהיכם, לא תתגודדו ולא תשימו קורחה בין עיניכם למת.
You are children of Hashem, your God, and you shall not cut yourself, and you shall not make a bald spot between your eyes for a dead person.
Okay, what is it? On Pshat Dvarim, the Torah tells us that we are the children of the Almighty. We holy people. But the Torah come and warn us also that we should not cut ourselves, and I will explain now. And we should not put we should not make a bald spot in our hair. What does it mean? The Torah come and tell us, because you holy people, you the children of the Almighty, when Chas v'Shalom, someone passed away that close to you, you should not mourn in an extreme way. Pshat of the Dvarim. You should not mourn in an extreme way. And immediately many of the Mefarshim say, what's happening? You tell us that we the children of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. But from the other way, you tell me not to mourn in an extreme way. What's the connection between the children of HaKadosh Baruch Hu on one side, and on the other side, you told me not to mourn in extreme. What's the connection between them? So to understand that, we have to understand that what the Rambam say. The Ramban, Rabbi Moshe ben Nachman. Rabbi Moshe ben Nachman, just to give you a bit of history about him, he born in the city of Catalonia. Catalonia is in Spain. He born around 827 years ago. By the way, also Or HaChaim HaKadosh, Rabbi Chaim ben Atar, that born in the city of Sali 325 years ago in Morocco. In his book Or HaChaim HaKadosh, he also bringing. That means the Ramban, the Nachmanite, and Or HaChaim HaKadosh, Rabbi Chaim ben Atar, both bringing it in a commentary on the Torah. They explain like this. He said that the Jewish people, their neshama is eternal. The Jewish neshama is eternal, no matter what. That means he done mitzvot, he didn't done mitzvot. I don't want to say avirot, it's eternal. That he have to get punished, that's a different issue. He said that when a person has v'shalom, that he doesn't believe that he is the children of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, he start mourning in an extreme way. What did they do? When they mourn, there's certain Gentile that cut himself. I know for a fact that there is, I saw it in Israel, that lo alenu v'lo al af echad me'am Yisrael, that the Muslims, sometimes when they mourn for the deceased, they cut themselves and they bleed. Mamash mishugaim. It's not normal to see something like that. I saw it at the beginning. I couldn't understand what's happening. Only when I asked my friend, what's happening here? What are they doing? I was a little boy. I'm talking to you, maybe I was 20 or 15. I don't remember. 15, more close to 15. It wasn't 20. I was around 15. And I couldn't understand what they cut themselves. The Torah come and tell us that when you has v'shalom, lost someone that close to you, that you love, okay? When it's come to the mourning, you must never mourn so extremely. The mourning shouldn't be so extreme. And that's why the Torah tells us, when the day of Shiva, we split it to 3, if you look. The first 3 days, Hazal tell us labechi. The first day you must cry. After that, you're not allowed to cry. And the next 3 that you should sit and you mourn and you'll understand that you lost something close. Because Hazal understand that when we lose someone that's close to us, it's not simple. But you must understand, said the Rambam and the Or HaChaim HaKadosh, Rabbi Chaim ben Atar, because the Jewish neshama is eternal, she left here on earth and gone up to heaven to where she's supposed to be. You cannot mourn in an extreme way. Why? Because the neshama is still alive. Nachon that she left here on earth. What's left earth is the body, the physicality. The physicality got decayed and disappear. But the neshama, the holy neshama, now it's in a better place up in heaven. In a place that she feels very comfortable, very relaxed, the best place that she can be. Therefore, banim atem la'Hashem Elokechem, because if you believe on that, you don't have to mourn on such an extreme way. I saw that Rabbi Avraham Even Ezra also brought a commentary that I wrote about it. And Rabbi Avraham Even Ezra, born in the city of Toledo, the same city of the Marana Bet Yosef, it's just that he born close to 400 years before the Marana Bet Yosef. And he born 932 years ago, very close, just after the what do you call it? After the Geonim. Because he was Rishon, and before that was the Geonim. Okay, and he said like this, that you have to understand that if you the son of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, you should not mourn extremely. Why? Because whatever HaKadosh Baruch Hu do, and if you the son of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, you have to understand whatever HaKadosh Baruch Hu do, he's doing it for good. Rabbi Akiva say, Kol da'avid rahmana letav avid. Whatever the Almighty done, he done it only for good. We don't understand Heshbonot Shamayim. We can never understand. But it's come to tell us that if you the son of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, if you the children of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, if you believe that whatever happened, that whatever HaKadosh Baruch Hu done, it's for good, it's only for good. For example, a person won $1 million car. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu doesn't want to give him a car that he won for $1 million. He's giving him a car for 100,000, for 20,000. What difference it makes? Why? He couldn't understand. Because maybe if you give him such a fancy car, that man will use it for the wrong thing. Maybe he will drive fast, has v'shalom, can cause something. We don't know. But we have to understand, if HaKadosh Baruch Hu given us, whatever he given us, although that in our eyes, our limited eyes, we see that it's not good, has v'shalom to say it's not good, but in our eyes, it looks like it's not the right thing. In the eyes of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, it's the right thing. And if HaKadosh Baruch Hu doesn't say, Rabbi Avraham Even Ezra, that's the best thing for us. And at the moment that you will start to understand that whatever HaKadosh Baruch Hu done for you, okay, only then you'll understand that everything that he done for you is good, then you're a son of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Because the same like a father that sometimes give a smack to his little child and he punish him. Why does he punish him? Because he's frightened that he's gonna get hurt. That child doesn't see it. He said, the father, give me a pat. The father doesn't like me. Has v'shalom to say that. Which father doesn't like his son? That's that sometimes the father is harsh on a son. It's not because he doesn't love him. He loves him. Why did he was harsh on him? That he mustn't hurt himself. And that's what Rabbi Avraham Even Ezra explained. That's what it said. Banim atem laHashem Elokechem, lo titgodedu, lo tasimu korha ben einechem, lamet. That means when you know that whatever HaKadosh Baruch Hu done is good, you have no reason to do and to mourn in an extreme way. Be'ezrat Hashem, that we all look at that positively. Let's move on. I'm going to do one more pasuk from the Torah in chapter 15. Let's go to chapter 15, verse 7. 15:7. Yeah. כי יהיה בך אביון מאחד אחיך, באחד שעריך בארצך, אשר אדוני אליך נותן לך, לא תאמץ את לבך ולא תקפוץ את ידך מאחיך האביון.
If there shall be to be a destitute person among you, any of your brethren in any of your cities in your land, and that Hashem your God gives to you, you shall not harden your heart or close your hand against your destitute brother.
Okay. If you look here, the Torah commands us that, Has v'shalom, if there is destitute, is a poor person, that we should help that person, that we should help that poor person. But we have to understand why is the Torah saying that you should not harden your heart. The Torah doesn't tell us close your heart, don't harden your heart. And that question been asked by Rabbi Shlomo Alkabetz Levy. Rabbi Shlomo Alkabetz Levy, born in the city of Saloniki. He born in Saloniki in Greece, okay? He born 516 years ago. Then he moved to Tzfat. He was during the time with Maran Bet Yosef, Rabbi Yosef Karo, Ari HaKadosh, Rabbi Moshe Cordoviro, the Ramak, all the great giants, all the Kabbalistic. By the way, he wrote for us the poem that we sing every Friday night, Lecha Dodi. And he said to understand that, we have to look at the Gemara. The Gemara in Masechet Yevamot in page 79, folio 1, tell us that the Jewish person in his nature is very merciful and full of compassion. He said the Torah come and tell the Jewish person when it's come to a person that needs tzedakah, to give tzedakah, the Torah doesn't tell us don't close your heart. The Torah tells us that you should not harden your heart. That means that a Jewish person, his heart usually always open. But what if the Torah come and give us another tip? Just don't harden your heart. That's me. A Jewish person loves to give tzedakah, but just make sure that you not harden it, open it. That's me. When it's come to give tzedakah to a destitute person, don't harden your heart. That means don't be stingy. Open your, giving him. He deserves, he need, give him. The Torah doesn't tell us open your heart. Why? Because the heart of a Jewish people is so merciful, so full of compassion, we love to help. But what we have to work on, what character trait that we have to work on, that we're not going to harden our heart. Be'ezrat Hashem, that we're not. Now we're going to move to the Haftarah. Louis, we're going to move to the Haftarah of Parashat Re'eh. And the Parsha, the book of the Haftarah is a book of Nehemiah from the prophet Yeshayahu, and it's chapter actually 54, 11 it starts, and then it's moved to chapter 55 until verse 5. That means from chapter 54:11 until chapter 55:5. Okay. And it says something very interesting here. Let's read the first verse and let's see how's it going. ענייה סוערה לא נוחמה, הנה אנוכי מרביץ בפוך אבנייך ויסתיך בספירים.
O afflicted storm tossed, unconsoled one, behold, I shall lay your floor stones upon your pearls and make your foundations of sapphires.
Very interesting verse, difficult to understand, but I'll try to explain it in a simple way. Here we see that the prophet Yeshayahu tried to comfort us. And we have to understand what is his saying. But after we read the Nahamu Nahamu Ami, the Parashat of Nahamu Nahamu Ami, Yomar Elokechem, here the prophets come back to the Almighty and said to him, listen, you send me to comfort Bnei Israel, the children of Israel, and you told me to comfort him with word of Nehama. Okay? Why? Because you are the one that's going to build Bet HaMikdash. But I want to tell you something very interesting. The children of Israel don't want to comfort, does not want to accept my comfort. And you know why they don't want to accept my word of comfort? Because the Jewish of Israel telling me that until the Almighty, listen to that until the Almighty gonna build Bet HaMikdash, they're not gonna get comfort. That means, Aniya so'ara lo nuhama, what it means? That the Jewish people consider like a poor person. Why they poor? And they don't want to give, they don't want to get comfort. Okay, lo nuhama, why? Because until you're going to build for them Bet HaMikdash. How do you going to comfort them? They're going to accept the comfort only when you build Bet HaMikdash. What else it said? Something very interesting. It said like this, Ve'yesadetich basapirim. That means that in your foundation going to be sapphire. What's happening? Listen to that, Rabotai. I saw a beautiful commentary, but before I explain the commentary, I want to explain something. The sapphire, it's the second stone on a second row on a breastplate of the Kohen Gadol. The stone of the sapphire is on a second row. Was 2 rows of all the tribes, 6 and 6. On a second row, on a second number 2 is the stone sapphire. Who have the stone of sapphire? Which tribe? Shevet Yisachar. Listen to that, Yisachar. Why am I bringing it? Where is the source for it? Chazal tell us that the tribe of Yisachar, there was Talmidei Chachamim. And it said in Divrei Hayamim Aleph, in chapter 12, in verse 33, it said like this, ומבני יששכר יודעי בינה לעתים, לדעת מה יעשה לישראל. That means from the tribe of Yisachar, יודעי בינה לעתים. What it means יודעי בינה לעתים? That there was called a person. And Rabbeinu Behaye, listen to that, say that if a person battle to understand the Torah, he have difficulty, he doesn't understand, he can read, it's difficult for him to understand, there is a remedy. Obviously, a person have to daven to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, to beg, to cry, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu will open his eyes in our beautiful Torah. But there is a remedy, say Rabbeinu Behaye. Take a sapphire stone, hang it on your neck, and you'll see marvelous thing happen. You suddenly start seeing that you understand all the Torah. You'll see brocha and he's studying Torah. You will see the brocha with it. What is the connection? The Mefarshim explain that HaKadosh Baruch Hu promised the Jewish people that when the Mashiach come, when the Messiah come, the houses of the Jewish people, the foundation going to be from what? From sapphire. That means in a foundation of a house will be sapphire. So what? So it will be sapphire. So no. There isn't a secret. You know what's the secret? The secret going to be because the stone of sapphire is the remedy to understand the Torah. When it's going to be the stone in your foundation, so many stone, that means the foundation going to be made from sapphire, in every house will understand all the Torah. And if they'll understand the Torah, will not going to be mahlokot in the Jewish people, not going to be kushiyot. What it means, mahloket? Mahloket is a dispute. Kushiyah, that's not going to be as house that would never understand the Torah. That means for the future to come, when the Mashiach come, the prophet revealed to us a secret. Rabotai, listen to that. That not going to be a house that wouldn't understand Torah. Not going to be a house that will be mahloket in a Torah. Everyone will agree and will understand the same, the Holy Torah. So Be'ezrat Hashem, that we should all merit, that we should all merit, that we'll see the Mashiach speedily in our days, that he will come and he revealed to us that he's here. And he will send, please God, and bring down the Bet HaMikdash, the third Bet HaMikdash in our days. Amen, Ken Yeh Ratzon. Speedily in our day. Amen, Ken Yeh Ratzon. Now it's time for question. If anyone have question, you can ask. Sorry, my throat was dry. Please, if you have any question, Bechavod, on a Parsha, on a Haftarah, I'll try to explain if there is any question. No question. Okay.
Good evening, Rabbi. How are you?
I'm okay. Who's speaking?
You're speaking with Karen.
Karen. Hi, Karen. How are you?
I'm good, thank God. My question is, you spoke about your friend earlier who had avodah zarah in his office. My understanding is that in a place where there's avodah zarah, it creates a lot of tum'ah. So my question is, does that tum'ah go away immediately after destroying the avodah zarah, or does the tum'ah still linger afterwards?
Very good question. Very, very good question. So, first of all, you know, in every house there is a mezuzah. The mezuzah, it's come to, number one, to get rid of all of the mezikim. Mezikim is anything that can harm. I'm referring to demon. There is demon that walk on two, and there is proper demon. When you have a mezuzah, a proper mezuzah, it gets rid of all the evil forces. Because the name that it say on it, it's one of the holy name of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Shin Daled Yud. What it means, Shin Daled Yud? Shomer Daltot Israel. That means the Rashi Tevot of that holy name, that it's God, the door of the Jewish people. Where do we learn that? We learn that from Egypt, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu told the Jewish people that when it's come to the plague of the firstborn in Egypt, what they should do, on a pshat of the dvarim, they should take the blood and smudge it where? On a doorpost. Now, to get rid of avodah zarah, it definitely bring negative energy. That's for sure, I agree. And there is no dispute about it, Karen. But in the moment that you destroy it, you've done a mitzvah. And especially if you're saying it, I'm destroying it l'shem, to do kiddush Hashem, to do a mitzvah, okay? Not only that you destroy it, what are you doing? You're doing something else. You actually get rid of the evil forces. Now, I didn't check his mezuzah, it's a good question, but I'm sure that the mezuzot that he have in his office, and he wasn't anti, he's not an anti, it was by mistake. It was purely, I promise you. He done it naively. He just heard that it's going to help him with the business. That's what he done. He didn't done it to worship idols. He's not in that way. But the mezuzah in his office, I'm sure that they're good, because I'm not the guy that put it for him. But that the point is that the mezuzah can help him to get rid of that evil forces. I hope that I answer your question.
Thank you.
Pleasure. Any other question, Rabotai? If you have any other question, no, there's no question. I would like to take the opportunity, Rabotai, to wish you all, number one, to wish you all a great Shabbos. I want just to remind you all that Sunday and Monday is Rosh Chodesh. Don't forget that from Sunday we start saying Le David Uri V'Yishai. Don't forget that Mizmor. There's a lot of secret about it. Be'ezrat Hashem, on Sunday I'm going to do a shiur about Elul. I want to do with you about Gematria to understand the months of Elul that we're going. Why Dafka Elul? We'll see what's happening behind Elul. I'm going to speak about Ani LeDodi Ve'Dodi Li. I'm going to do the Gematria. There is there Gematriot. I'm going to prepare, to try to prepare our... Oh, there's a bit of a noise. Let me, everyone, I can't take the noise. There's noise. I cannot. There's a lot of...
Mark.
Not saying a word.
Mute yourself, Mark.
Okay, it's all muted. Don't worry. Sorry. So I'm going to do the Gematria. What's hiding behind Ani LeDodi Ve'Dodi Li? There is there the number 40. There's a secret of number 40. I'm going to bring the idea behind the and behind all the evil forces. There is that Be'ezrat Hashem will do it on Sunday. I'm preparing a show to prepare us to the months of Elul. So to wish all of you, take the opportunity to wish you, number one, Shabbat Shalom u'mevorechet, to you and to all your family. Keep well, keep safe, number one. And Be'ezrat Hashem, wish you all Rosh Chodesh Tov u'mevorach, to all of you.
Shkoach, Rav.
Thank you,
very
Rabbi.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rov.
All the
Thank
best.
you.
Shavuot
And
and
Thank you
Shabbat
so
Shalom.
much.
Kol Tov.
All
I
the
think
best.
people
All the-
should try and
All the
listen to
best.
the blowing of the shofar from Monday.
Yeah. Be'ezrat
תודה,
Kol
Rabbi
Tov.
David.
לבריאות. כתוב,
Thank you,
אריכות
Rabbi.
ימים.
תודה רבה.